Today we are going to be talking about one of the most important pieces of equipment you can have on your bench if you're building quads. Now I know this because last week I managed to burn out a DJI digital FPV air unit on the bench by accident. If I though had had this piece of equipment, that probably would not have happened, and that is the Vifly Short Saver version 2. Now this is an electronic protection device that stops you from burning out your flight controllers, your ESCs, should there be a problem. Now after my incident took place, a number of users on the channel messaged me and said you really need to get yourself one of these. So I placed an order and it arrived a few days ago, and I've been having a play with it, and I wanted to share with you my thoughts on this device because frankly I'm an idiot for not having one on the bench before now. And whilst I'm well aware of various different types of protection devices, including putting a bulb in place or some other short savers, this one with the electronic protection it offers, in my opinion, is an absolute must. Anyway, let's get on with this video. Let's take a look at what this device actually is, what it does, and then we're going to demonstrate it in use. We're going to short it out, we're going to reverse voltage, and just show you the protection that this device can give you. Okay, so when you get the short saver, it comes in this little bag, and you can see on the back it's a PCB with some inputs and outputs. Now if we split it open and pull it out, you will get the main short saver version 2 device itself, and this is the second version. There was an original. I'm not sure what the differences were, and this is the little set of instructions as well. Now taking a closer look, what we've got is 2 inputs and 2 outputs. So what we've got is a standard XT60 and an XT30, so depending on what battery type you're using, and then we've got an XT60 and XT30 output as well. We've then got 2 buttons, and then on the back you can see a little set of instructions that just tells us what the various options are, as well as what the LEDs do. Now there is LEDs on this which signify what the situation is. There is 2 current options, whether you want it on a 1 amp or 2 amp continuous threshold, and then you've got the sensitivity options for how sensitive it is should it detect an issue, and these are all done via the buttons on the top here. Now just taking a closer look at the device, you can see that we've got a couple of ICs. We've got a resistor bank along the bottom here as well to bleed off some of that voltage, and that really is about it. Now this is a more technical version than some of the other ones out there. Some of them are simply just resistors in series or a light bulb, but this one is actually a digital circuit that monitors the voltage. So what we've got is our LiPo, and here we've got a standard 4S battery. We simply plug it in, and then you can see that the unit has lit up. Now at the moment there is no power output. It actually has a switch on and switch off. So for instance, if I press it, you can see that it's gone green, and that has now enabled the power output. And if I press it again, it's gone off, and that means the power output is dead. If I just spin it round this way, we've then got the button over here, which is the power button, and then the top one allows us to set the current rating that the device is going to use. So if we look on the back, you can see we've got 1 amp with the blue LED off, or 2 amp with the blue LED on. So at that point, you can see the blue LEDs on, it's 2 amp, or that point it's 1 amp. And it's not going to have enough power to actually run all of the motors on your quad, but it's going to be enough for it to actually protect it when you're powering it up on the bench. You've then at the bottom here got the options for the sensitivity. Now to set these, what you need to do is press and hold this little button down here. Once you've done that, you'll see that the LED will start to flash. Now at the moment that is flashing single yellow, which is high sensitivity. If we press it again, it'll double flash, which is medium sensitivity, and press it again, it will triple flash, and that is the lowest level of sensitivity. We can then press it again to go back to the first level, and then to store that we would simply press and hold, and then that is the option stored inside. And then you simply got the button to turn it on and off. Now just to demonstrate this actually in use, what we're going to do is plug in this ESC. Now what we're going to do is do it properly this time, so we're not going to reverse voltage it. We're simply going to put the plus to plus, minus to minus in the holes. We're going to go by here. And at the moment, although the ESC is plugged in, the power is actually turned off. So we're going to turn the power on. You should see the LED kick. The LED actually underneath. There it is. You can see that the LED has come on the ESC and it's all powered up. So again, if I press it, the power goes off. Press it, the power comes on. So it's doing exactly what we would expect it to do. Now, if we were going to test this with a direct short, what we can actually do is put a wire between the two XT60 connections. So nice and straightforward. We're just going to directly short out the XT60. Normally, this would be a very, very bad idea with a LiPo battery. But then what we're going to do is tap it. And you can then see that it instantly has gone to red. And that is because it has detected a short. So I can press it for it to go off again. If I just take that wire out and power it on, you can see that it's gone green. And it's actually now saying everything is fine. But if I now take this wire and actually short it, you might see a little... There you go. You can see that it's instantly gone red and it's added the protection for the battery itself. Again, reset it, press it, move it along for you guys to see. And then if we just short it in, you can see it's gone red. So if there was a short on your device, it will pick it up very quickly. Now, just to show that same again with the ESC connected, and what we'll do is go onto there and go into there. Would have been easier if I'd have actually put an XT connection on this, but there's a reason I haven't. And then power it up. If we were to then short the pads out, it would then actually, so what we're going to do now is just short out the plus to negative. So we've got the negative there, and you'll see then instantly it's changed and it's shut the power off. And it's done that without doing any damage to the ESC itself. So again, if I simply reset it, power it on, we can see that it's come back up and doing everything that it's meant to do. Now, the next big one I want to show you is the reverse voltage protection. Now, this is really one of the very important things about having a device like this. So if you were to accidentally reverse wire something, rather than it just go bang, it will actually protect the circuit for you. So what we're going to do is reset the device and power it on. We've got our earth off our ESC going into positive, and we're going to then put our positive into the negative. Now, if you were to do this with the LiPo normally, you would get quite the surprise, to say the least. Magic smoke, as well as possibly some fireworks too. However, because we've got the short saver in place, what we're going to do is just take the positive wire, put it into the negative connection, and I'll just show you, and it instantly changes back to red. We've had no magic smoke, we've had no nothing at all. So again, if we reset, power it on, reverse voltage, instant protection. Then if we actually reset it, put it the correct way, again, this is the reason I didn't put an XT60 on this, because I wouldn't have been able to reverse it easily. I could have made reverse connections, but, and then if we now power it on, you can see that the LED is powered up and the ESC is powering on absolutely fine. So the device is offering you not only short protection, but reverse voltage protection as well. As you can see, the Vifly Short Saver offers a massive amount of protection. We've got short protection and reverse polarity as well. In my opinion, having spent a couple of days with this, it's an absolute must. And don't be an idiot like me and not have one of these between your quad and your battery when building things up on the bench. I would not have burnt this ear unit out probably if I'd have had this in place, and I will not fire a quad up on the bench again without having this between it and the battery. Now, I will put a link to Vifly's website in the description of this video. I paid about £12 for this delivered in the UK. It's an absolute bargain. There is really no reason not to have one. In fact, get yourself 2 or 3 is probably a good idea. There are many other types out there as well, such as a bulb in series or the ones that are just resistors. But I do like the fact that you have the current options on this one, which is the 1 amp and 2 amp, as well as the sensitivity options and the power button switch and LED indications as well. Thank you to the guys that reached out to me and said you need to get one of these, because you were absolutely right. If you've liked this video, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell next to it as well. That way you'll get updates on any new videos I release in the future. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links to buy me a coffee in the description, as well as Patreon as well. And if you'd like to support the channel on an ongoing basis, Patreon is a really good way of doing it. That's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and I will give you guys some updates as time goes on when I figure out if I can actually get this ear unit repaired.